creative, involved in the community.
She's organized, she's committed, she's passionate, or this person is beautiful, is fabulous.
Okay,
Yeah.
enough
about us.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're here to talk about Isabelle.
Yeah, talk about her. She's receiving an award of some sort, yeah.
So do you know Isabelle Giroux? If you don't, you've probably been living in a cave for the last years, or new in the milieu. She has been in the news when it comes to ESL in Quebec. Her name is on countless great activities that you used, that you're using now, and that you will use in the future. Nerves.
I went on the internet and Googled Isabelle Giroux, okay? And her name popped up on the New York Times Best Workshop list. Just to name a few. Judging a book by its cover. High school reunion. Hannah suitcase. There's creative writing.
With me.
What would you do?
With me.
5 minutes to go.
With me.
The English school bag.
We don't know.
No. Anne Frank, Freedom Riders. Just to name a few.
Exactly. So, when it comes to Isabelle, never judge a book by its cover. Isabelle is not only tall, blonde, attractive, yes, we hate her. She's also a go-getter. She's hardworking, she's passionate, she's intelligent, she's generous, she's driven, she's resourceful, and she's a contagious individual. Working with her, you quickly realize that she appreciates people. Her best ideas stem from the creative process of teamwork.
We should not forget to mention that our dear Isabelle is a multitasker and has an acute case of ADD.
What's that again?
Attention Deficit Disorder. Okay, I guess having 4 kids really develops this part of the female brain. As she is talking to you on the phone, she's probably answering a text message on her BlackBerry or iPhone. She's probably writing an email to someone, or she's probably writing a memo to her bosses. She's reading a magazine, she's surfing on the net. I remember when I would call her, we would start talking and say, okay, Isabelle, blah, blah, and then I could hear the keyboard, you know, going on. I said, Isabelle, stop doing whatever you're doing and focus on me. Focus on each other, you know. And she, no, I'm focused. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, I can hear it from the background. So she never sits still. She never sits still.
So Isabelle will always be a perpetual student. She craves to learn more about people, different cultures, and how things work. Unless it's about finances, I was told, her husband takes care of that part. She's a citizen of the world. She is well-traveled. I guess spending the last 20 years summers in France is a good starting point to discover other cultures. That's why the suitcases she must prepare before leaving on an adventure with her family is an adventure in itself. And because of Hannah's suitcase, she was invited to Israel a few years ago, and this experience remains one of the most significant highlights of her life. Okay, Martin, so we have 5 minutes to go.
No, just
one minute. Okay,
right.
Here's a hopscotch of her life.
Well, Isabelle Giroux is a proud mother of 4 beautiful children, and she married a French guy. So that means that she's French and Canadian. Isabelle has taught 9 years at Augustin Norbert Morin High School at La Commission Scolaire de Laurentides, and there is where I met her. And in May 2000, believe it or not, she received the SPEAQ Foundation Award for her theater adaptation of Romeo and Juliet with her secondary 3 students. Isabelle currently works at La Commission Scolaire de Rivière-du-Nord as a pedagogical consultant, and she has been an active participant in RAPPALS, which is le regroupement des conseillères et conseillers pédagogiques en anglais langue seconde, since 1997. And since 2006, she is the president of this group.
And if that wasn't enough, there's more to come. Isabelle has supervised ESL internships at McGill University. She has written pedagogical material for the primary level, a great book called Name Tag. Isabelle has given many sold-out workshops at SPEAQ annual convention and many SPEAQ campuses. You do not want to miss her workshops this year. She's always sure to, she always makes sure that once you leave the workshop, you leave with a smile and handouts. And Isabelle, most of all, always finds the time to create and the time to share, and that is admirable. The English second language community would not be the same without her. And now, Isabelle, on a personal note, and I don't want to cry.
No, you don't.
Okay, I'm not going to cry. I consider myself very lucky to know you. Oh, I'm going to cry. So I won't look at her, I'll look at someone else. Look at you. Okay. So I consider myself, I think I'm going to be okay. So I consider myself very lucky to know you and to work with you. I am one of the lucky ones. You have, okay, I'm going to cry. I do this all the time. Okay, so you have been an inspiration to me from the first time I met you, and I'm so pleased to be able to talk about you today. I'm going to cry again.
You can do it.
Okay, so. Can I do it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can do it.
I can't, so you go on, I'll do it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to cry.
I hope not to cry.
This wasn't planned.
For me, Isabelle is most of all a friend. The times we had in the teacher's room disturbing all the other teachers. But we were working, we were sharing ideas, we were planning, we were organizing, and in our teacher's room that was probably a first. So I really enjoy that. We also created videos for students, and we presented workshops together here at the convention. She's the one who made me discover SPEAQ if you want. And of course at the SPEAQ campuses, we always enjoyed that. We laughed, we continue laughing, and these are truly treasured professional moments. I'm always happy to hear and see you these days. We do not get the chance to see each other very often, thank God for Facebook. But when we see each other, it was like yesterday. And I guess this is how you can define friendship.
Okay, I think
Finally?
I'm going to for the last part. So every time I see your name in my agenda, I get excited because I know that we will spend a great day creating interesting stuff for teacher. Oprah always asks people what they know for sure. Well, what I know for sure is that you are great and that we will work on many other projects together.
So, Ms. Isabelle Giroux, can you please come up to the seat?
My goodness. I wasn't nervous before, but I think I am now. It won't be as spontaneous as Tanya and Martin because I wrote something down, so I'll be reading most of my speech, but it's because I'm probably very nervous. Tanya and Martin, thank you for presenting me, and I hope I'll be as good as you. Receiving this award is a huge honor for me, believe me. My implication in the ESL community is a great pleasure in my life. Working with such wonderful people makes me love my job and worth getting up every morning. I didn't know how to organize my speech, but I went with minutes that change people's lives. So here it goes. Minute 1. When I was a child, my parents took wise decisions. Being from a very francophone milieu, Isabelle Giroux from Saint-Jérôme, my parents would drive 35 kilometers every day, morning and night, and this for 3 years so that I could attend an English daycare. In 1976, that's without revealing my age, When it was time to start kindergarten, the government was starting to think to vote Bill 101, which meant that French people could not go to English school unless your parents had attended. That's one of the parts from Bill 101. So with the government's Bill 101, my parents thought quickly. Instead of sending me to French school, they took a wise decision to send me to English school. When all the kids in my neighborhood and all my friends would start French school, and in fact, a year later, Bill 101 was adopted. This minute when my parents decided to send me to English school was the beginning of a very long journey of where I am today. Had I not attended English school, I wouldn't be standing here today. Minute 2. I believe that my love of teaching started a very long time ago, even before I noticed that teaching English was what I really wanted to do in my life and with my life. 27 years ago, I had the extraordinary chance to go study abroad. Destiny, in which I believe in very strongly, made that there was a cute, handsome teenager in my class. That boy struck my eye. That minute when I offered to teach him English and to practice, the position of the tongue to pronounce the and not the, went a very long way. In exchange, he was teaching me math. Emmanuel, my husband, has been sharing my life since then, and we have 4 wonderful children together. Having him by my side every day makes me the luckiest woman on this planet. That minute, when I offered to give Emmanuel English class, changed my life. I guess at 17, I already knew deep down in my heart that teaching was something that I would love doing. Minute 3. That's going to be a hard one. In September 2004, I was teaching in high school with Martin. And on a Monday night, I received a phone call from Nicole Roy. Nicole passed away last year. And she was the CP at la Commission Scolaire Rivière du Nord. And I was putting my baby Juliette to bed, and I remember it very, very well. And she was touching base with me as she was looking for someone to replace her as a consultant at the school board, because she was going as a vice principal. And my first reaction at the moment was, me, now? I have 4 young kids, 3 that are not in school. I don't think this is the right moment for me. She insisted that I would take this job and that I should at least try it out. There is that minute when I replied, okay, I'll send my resume, and the rest is history. I have been the consultant at Commission Scolaire Rivière du Nord since 2004. I want to thank her from the bottom of my heart, because if I am doing this today with such passion, it is because of her. This minute when Nicole called me was the continuing of a long journey of where I am today. Had I not accepted to try it out, I wouldn't be standing here today. We miss you all, Nicole. Minute 4. A few years ago, I had this chance to work with a great teacher, Judith Farden. She wanted to open up an option in her high school called Movies in Literature. From the different books that we worked on, it was The Diary of Anne Frank that cost most of my attention. No one had taught me when I was in school about the Holocaust. What a shame. I figured that I had to do something about it. Judith believed the same, and we were off to build 2 LESs around the Holocaust for ESL students in secondary 4 and 5, and a suitcase and the Diary of Anne Frank. It was a revelation to me. If I wanted students to learn about this issue, I myself needed to learn more about it. In 2010, I had the extraordinary chance to be sponsored by a Holocaust survivor, Dana Bell, to attend a 3-week seminar learning about Holocaust for educators in Jerusalem. That minute, when I met and talked with Anne Frank's best friend, or when I met and talked with a survivor from Schindler's List, it changed my life. Teaching subjects that we are passionate about makes a huge difference in students' lives. Tonight, it is also about thanking people that have helped me develop this passion. I'm not here today all by myself. It's because of all these people. To Jean-Claude Ruel, my mentor, my Maury. Who has read the book Tuesdays with Maury? Okay. If not, I'm giving a workshop tomorrow. He was the best boss I ever had. He believed in me, trusted me, and gave me the liberty to do wonderful projects. He gave me wings to fly on my own. To Cynthia B.A., who proposed me in 2006 that I become president of Rock Pals. Had I not accepted, I wouldn't have met Madame Lynn Beauchamp last January 2011. I wouldn't have met her with SPEAQ and Laura Collins from Concordia. Having her attaché politique call you up after the meeting and say, je tiens à vous remercier, votre enthousiasme a fait pencher dans la balance dans la décision de la ministre à l'implantation de l'anglais intensif. Well, I am proud today to say that I have been part of one of the most important decisions of teaching English in Quebec. To my husband Emmanuel, for keeping up with me, listening to my ideas, my complaining, taking care of the kids when I was away for work, supporting me. Did I mention my complaining? I wouldn't be here if that minute, 27 years ago, someone decided to put us in the same class. Even though you can't be here tonight, as you have your teacher interview night, I know you are with me. My husband teaches math. To my 4 kids who understand why mommy works so hard. Sometimes it's not easy, but they understand. And being patient. They're the sunshine of my life. To all the great, wonderful ESL teachers that I've worked with since 1997, and just to name a few, Sarah, Judith, Lynn, Valérie, Anne, Julie, Wendy. There's so many. You make my job worth getting up every morning. To you, Tanya, for making me love giving workshops so much. Working with you is a therapy in itself. You make me happy every time I see you. You are my idol. To you, Martin, for believing contagious, for believing that team teaching was possible some 10 years ago. That year we taught together was the best teaching year of my life. What complicity we have together. Someday we'll teach again together. To Jim Howden, Anne Miette, Elise Deschambault, it's because of your dedication in the ESL community that I want to be as inspiring as you. To my dear colleagues with whom I love working, Christine, Moula, Dominique, Marilyn, Annie, Anita, Julie, Gwen, I love you. To the Academy Award, no, sorry, to SPEAQ, to SPEAQ, who trusted me when I first started giving workshop. Thank you for this award. I will be able to add this important minute in my life. Thank you.
Just before, flowers from Emmanuel and your children. Miss Monique.
I was hoping that Isabelle would speak a little longer because I wanted my face to dry. Oh.